Have you ever found yourself frustrated with your spouse and wondered, why does this keep bothering me so much? Maybe it's a conversation that you've had, maybe it's a disagreement, a disappointment, or maybe it's something your spouse said or actually didn't say. What if the issue you're fighting about isn't actually the real issue? As Stephanie and I discuss in chapter 3 of our new book, The Intentional Marriage, beneath many of our struggles are deeper needs God designed every human to have. The problem isn't that we have needs. The problem is where we look to have those needs fulfilled. Over the years, both personally and professionally, I've discovered that 4 core needs consistently show up in people's lives and marriages. They are identity, purpose, security, and acceptance. And when those needs are healthy, marriages tend to thrive. When those needs go unmet, or when we expect our spouse to fulfill what only Christ can provide, conflict often follows. So let's talk about each one of those. Identity. Who am I really? One of the greatest struggles in our culture today is identity. People try to define themselves by what they do, their successes, their relationships, their achievements, their failures. But as we write in The Intentional Marriage, your spouse can affirm your identity, but only Christ can define it. That's a powerful distinction. I see this often in the counseling setting when someone might say, "I'm nothing without my job." Or, "If I'm not needed by my children, well, then who am I? If my spouse doesn't appreciate me, what value do I really have?" So those statements reveal that identity has become attached to a role rather than rooted in Christ. When I forget who I am in Christ, I start looking to Stephanie to tell me that I am enough. But while she can only encourage me, she cannot define me. Only God can do that. And when identity becomes rooted in Christ, something changes. I'm less defensive. I'm less reactive, less controlled by what other people think of me or their opinions, because I know whose I am. And once identity becomes secure, something else begins to happen. Purpose starts to emerge. Purpose. Why am I here? One of the most important statements in chapter 3 is this: once identity is secure, purpose begins to take shape. When you know who you are, you can understand why you're here. Purpose isn't about a title. It's not about status. It's not even about accomplishment. Purpose is about direction. It's waking up with that understanding that your life matters, that God created you intentionally, and that your marriage has a purpose, that your family has a purpose, that your relationship can reflect something greater than itself. Couples who share a mission tend to stay connected longer. Couples who simply coexist often drift apart. When a husband and wife are pursuing Christ together and moving towards something bigger than themselves, many of the smaller frustrations begin to lose their power. Purpose creates unity, and purpose creates direction. Purpose gives meaning to struggle, and when we know who we are and why we're here, we naturally begin to experience something else: security. Security is, am I safe? As Stephanie and I discuss in the book, security is much deeper than finances. It's deeper than circumstances. And most people think security just means protection. But often, what we really mean is emotional safety. Can I trust you? Will you be consistent? Will your actions match your words? Will you stay present when things get difficult? Will I be emotionally safe with you? Trust is not built in grand moments. Trust is built in daily choices. It's built when your actions match your promises. It's built when your spouse knows that they can count on you. It's built through consistency. Security grows every time our actions reinforce trust, and security erodes every time they don't. When security is present, connection deepens. But when security is absent, fear often takes over. Which brings us to the final core need: acceptance. Am I fully known and still loved? Everyone wants acceptance. Everyone wants to be fully known and still loved. But here's the challenge. Many of us spend our lives trying to earn that acceptance through performance, achievement, approval, through relationships, through people-pleasing. And when acceptance feels threatened, criticism, defensiveness, withdrawal, and conflict often just follow. As we write in The Intentional Marriage, our needs are real and God-given, but no human, including our spouse, was ever meant to be their ultimate source. Christ alone fills what marriage is invited to reflect. And that's important, because when I expect Stephanie to fulfill or fully satisfy my need for acceptance, I'm placing a weight on her she was never designed to carry. The same is true for her. Our spouses are invited to reflect God's love. They were never intended to replace Him. Healthy marriages happen when two people receive acceptance from Christ and then extend that acceptance to one another. Not perfectly, but intentionally. So here's a final thought for you. As you reflect on your marriage today, ask yourself, which one of these needs stand out most to you right now? Identity, purpose, security, acceptance? And where might you be looking to your spouse to provide something only Christ can fully satisfy? Because awareness is the first step towards intentional growth. As Stephanie and I write in The Intentional Marriage, the goal isn't to create shame. The goal is to create clarity. Clarity is so helpful and healthy for relationships. And when we understand our needs, we can stop demanding from our spouse what only God can provide and begin loving one another from a place of fullness rather than lack. That's where healthy marriages begin. And that's where intentional marriages are built. If this message resonated with you, we'd love for you to take our free marriage health assessment at intentionalway.com. And if you'd like to go deeper into these principles, you'll find the entire chapter in The Intentional Marriage, a guide to building love that lasts. And always remember this: great marriages aren't found, they're formed.